G'day there. Welcome to another episode of the Faction Set Review. I don't have to tell everyone just how amazing this has been. Swanee, you are brilliant. I've got two amazing hosts with me tonight. We've got Dan Papak and Trent Clark, of course. And we're just going to open it up and go through some multicolour.
Yeah, I feel like I've got a bit more of an authority talking about the cards now, being the inaugural winner of the first draft.
Oh, you won.
That was the 3-0, man. I got there.
Who was the 0-3?
Oh, who did 0-3?
I don't know. Who could have been?
It'd be funny if it was
Might have even been Nath or I don't know. It was one of those. Yeah,
could be. Yeah, right. Yeah, Nath did have a.
No, I think it was actually Leo, maybe.
Oh no, it was Leo. Yeah, no, his deck was not doing what.
Well, it's funny because when he was drafting, he was saying how insane his deck was. Leo, and as is always the case,
he had a bunch of Shane cards.
That's right.
Yeah. One of these first cards that we're going to see is one that we'll talk about that Leo did play. It seems unbeatable, but no, apparently not. He just didn't get across the line.
Yeah.
Whereas that, Hoody predicts snow is the best card in this set. Every game I won was off that card.
So you put that in the chat. Hoody predicts snow, and I was like, "Oh, there must be a snow theme." And then you showed me, no, it's a card.
Exactly.
Okay.
The brilliant thing is Trent hasn't seen any of these cards, so I'm going to see his live reaction.
Yeah,
which I'm really looking forward to.
So I've had it on in the store, and I just haven't had a chance to actually watch it and like take it in. So we've sat here for like 10 minutes, and I can see this. I just lost my shit like 3 or 4 times because it's just it's unreal. Like some of the stories that like the chow down there is just there's 15 years of laughter in that. You know, it's so perfect. It's just great.
And Mike said it the best as well, that when the best thing about playing it is, for him, he said, was just hearing people announce their plays.
Yeah.
So be like, all right, well, Jono presents Demon or whatever, I'm going to attack into you. Hoody does this, and
So yesterday, Sunday in the store was the Flesh and Blood tournament, and I think Alex drafted, right?
Yeah.
And Alex was talking about how busted that card, Jono presents Demon or whatever. And I just walked out behind the curtain and went,
All right, well, let's get it kicked off. We're going to start here with our first multicoloured card, L, Excommunicator of Souls. And it's 2 white-black for a legendary creature, Human Cleric. It's a 2/1. And you can pay 1, remove all clamp counters from creatures you control. Put a clamp counter on target creature you control. Activate only as a sorcery. Creatures with clamp counters get +1, -1, and gain. When this creature dies, draw 2 cards.
So you got the old classic skull clamp on a card. It's a little bit of a shame. It's going to be tricky for Trent to talk about a few of them because he's basically going to be talking about it in a vacuum. We've kind of played a little bit of the set, so there isn't. It'd be ideal if we had more 1/1 tokens. We have a lot of 0/2 tokens.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I dare say, with an ability like that, especially in limited, Trent, where card advantage is huge, what do you think about this card?
I mean, if there's enough clamp counters going around, like you can draft clamped counters.
I don't think there is enough, though.
Well,
sure.
You do need a threshold to actually like make this card good.
Yes.
Because remove all clamp counters from creatures. So you actually don't need any.
No, yeah.
Right, so you can just start with this.
Yeah. And there's a repeatable effect as well.
Yeah, so this thing is...
Yeah,
so this thing is... Yeah, either 5 mana, draw 2 cards, because you can kill itself.
Yes.
Target creature you control, so it can target itself. Mm-hmm. Skullclamp is insane. Limited, like it allows you to attack with impunity. They can never attack you, because you just go up on cards. The rate's not great, but the reason that the rate is not great because Skullclamp is absurd.
Yes, exactly. And if I'm reading this correct, it seems like the point of the way that it's worded is that you can never be clamping more than one thing at a time. So it's like you do this and then
it keeps you with
that one at a time.
It keeps you with one. But it's cool because we immediately just realized it's like, hang on, you don't actually need any clamp counters. It just works by itself.
Yeah.
So if the format is slow, then this thing could just work.
Yeah.
It's like 5 mana, play this, put a skull clamp on my creature, attack you, or pass.
Yes.
You have this thing, and they have to kill poor Alex first before they get the so the effect goes away. But you still get +1 -1. So depends on the removal, but
Exactly.
seems pretty funny.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, that's the Alex Crowther vanity card in the set.
Let's
Everyone
see if
got
we've
one
got
vanity card.
Every person in the team, and I think kind of quite a few in the general community have their own vanity card. So it's incredible. Once again, the artwork is insane.
Yeah, referencing his love for skull clamp decks in Highlander. We've got the flavor text over here. All right, moving on. Hoodie, would you like to give us this one?
Well, we've got one of the classic memes of the team, Bomb Rare for Nate to open. It's a 4/4, 5 to cast, red and green. In its casting cost, you got 1 colourless and 1 red. Bomb Rare for Nate to open deals 1 damage to target creature, and then 1 colourless and 1 green. Create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. Casting cost and even the power and toughness, pretty decent. Especially given this set's kind of probably more dated towards your 10 to 15-year-old draft sets as opposed to kind of the current sets as far as that goes. Abilities are great as well. I mean, only 2 to do each ability.
And repeatable.
Repeatable.
What makes this card really good, in my opinion, is that it's a 4/4, because 4/4s are way harder to kill in this format than a 3/3.
Sure.
There are cards that will just easily and really cleanly, like Sports Injury just gives you creature -3, -3. Try to make a series.
What is the artwork on Sports Injury?
It's me.
Was it a photo from Bauble?
It was a photo of the ambulance driver pushing me out.
But I mean, it's a really clean instant black and 1 colourless for just give it creature -3, -3.
Okay.
So that's not doing anything for Nate's
sure,
Bomb Rare, but there are red cards that do 5 damage to a creature, and a few other ways to get rid of this white cards.
And that's a very, very good rate, like a 1/1 green creature token for 2 mana.
Yeah,
that's pretty good, like compared to some of the modern ones you're paying for that kind of ability. So I reckon this card's dynamite.
Yeah.
This card's it's a Bomb Rare.
Yeah,
for sure. It's really, really good. No, you'll never beat it going long. If 4/4 is a break point, then it's obviously going to dominate the board.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a great card.
Exactly.
Fantastic card.
Take it away, DC.
Like I said, there's 15 years of jokes in this. Oh shit!
Did you want to?
This one's called.
See if you can give a straight face.
The artwork's just fantastic. This one's called Chow Down. It's 2 white and a black sorcery. Destroy target non-land permanent. Create a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying.
Does it all?
It's just
what more do you need?
It's just
mwah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a super strong effect, to be able to destroy an all-land point. But like that permanent could be one of the Jono Presents cards, which are by far and away the hardest to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, you would. I don't know what the rest of the set looks like. I would be hard pressed to take this first.
Yeah, sure.
Because it looks like everything from these multicolors is pretty absurd. But I mean, you
gives
can't
you the 1/1 for your skull clamp.
Yeah, it gives you the 1/1 for the clamp. Like there might be other things to do with the 1/1 or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
just a good card.
Destroy target 4 mana to destroy target non-land permanent is pretty modest by today's limited standards. It's actually not that good.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, but you can't nothing compared to a modern. You can't.
Yeah, sure. I don't know, right?
Yeah.
Like if I look at this card and I look at the Bomb Rare or the L, I'm like, there's no way I would take this before those two.
Sure. Yeah. Exactly.
Like I would always play it in black-white and be happy with it, pick it highly, but I'm not blown away by this card.
You're not opening wow.
Sorry, Nick. It's just white black's just not where you want to be.
No,
I can't understand.
All right, so moving on, because I should also mention that we should kind of blow through these cards because it does go on and like it gets. All right, we got Cormician Castaway. It's a forest and a island for a legendary creature, a powerful wizard. It's a 2/3. 1, pay 2 life, tap an untapped artifact you control, sacrifice the Cormician Castaway. Search your library for a creature with mana value 4 and put it onto the battlefield. Or into the battlefield.
Sick.
Seems good. I drafted this card, but I feel like I didn't play it in my deck. I think it was because I didn't have artifacts, which made it not doable. The artifacts are a little bit tough unless you're generating food, and food is relatively easy to generate.
Yeah.
So it's not that it's impossible to do this. You've just got to have other cards that support it. Otherwise, you may have trouble getting an artifact onto the field.
Creature with mana value 4. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's
Collectible. Nice little collected birthing pod with all this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so this one here we've got Ian's vanity card, paying homage to him running the podcast like this, and also his knack for playing quirky decks.
Yeah, definitely is quirky. All right.
Yeah, love it. Love the artwork on that too. It's fantastic. So it's one of these things where if you've got all the parts to make it happen again,
you'll get it if you want it.
Yep. And
no one will draft this card.
The other good thing about the way this is costed as well is the pay to life. If you're generating food as well, that's going to be an easier casting cost for you to pay as well.
It's the kind of card you might be able to find, like, 5th or 6th pick. That might be dynamite for your deck, but there's just a lot of hoops you have to jump.
That is 11th, 12th, 13th.
Yeah.
Well, that's where,
like I said, no one's going to want this card.
100%, especially without dual lands.
Yeah, but no one. Yeah,
if they don't have them in the deck.
Yeah, no one's going to want this card unless you're an artifact. Unless you're like, this is a perfect card to say, okay, I'm going to pack one. You see it. You take something else with this in mind, and then you know that 8 picks later, or 7 picks later, you can see that it's open, or you can see that you can set yourself up for it. You get it. It's easy, and it's probably just insane if you've got something to run into it, right?
Like a Jono Presents card in that colour, for
Yep,
instance.
100%. Yeah.
So all the Jono Presents cards just busted. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, they are the same. So my deck had the green one, and I'd use Woody pretty soon.
Are they all the same? Are they all the...
Yeah. It's like Jono Presents Behemoth or whatever, or Jono Presents Demon. I think it's one Jono Presents Kraken is the blue one, I think.
Yeah, unbelievable.
So sick. But yeah, they are by far and away, they're just so busted.
Yeah, Alex wasn't happy with them.
No. I mean, Leo had me dead on board. Cast one of them, makes a thing. I was able to sack the token. That gives everything trample, +1/+1. Bang, hit for 18.
Yeah.
Catch you later. All right, next up we've got... All right, here we go. Yep.
Ekim, Sage of the Swan. So it's 2 mana, 2/1 in blue and red. When Ekim, Sage of the Swan enters the battlefield, exile another target creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under your control. If an ability of another powerful wizard you control triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. So we have a few cards in this set with those kind of blink effects. And we've obviously got a few cards in the set that do great things with the blink effects. Obviously, if you're in those colours, look at 2/1 for 2 is always going to be okay.
This is never going to be about the stats on this card.
Further on, I guess it all really depends on what you're doing with the deck. I happen to draft kind of the blue-red spells deck myself on the weekend. And I don't know if I had many kind of ETB effects in that deck, so I'd have to probably look through the colours again to see what there is available.
This one's only for powerful wizards as well.
Yeah, and for powerful wizards, that's a great point. So yeah, look, probably one of these build-arounds where it's probably not going to be kind of like your first kind of pick. But yeah, I guess it all depends. Like, you might be able to fall into this card later on and just happen to have the deck to play it, but another card we have to jump through quite a few hoops.
Where you want to be with this is have already on the battlefield a powerful wizard with a great ETB.
Yeah.
This enters, flickers that, then that ETB happens 2 more times.
Yeah.
Which is... Does its own, if an ability... Oh, another powerful wizard, yes. So it's not like then this double triggers as well. That'd be insane. It'd be like infinite immediately. Yeah, I mean, great. Like, again... I don't know. I can't really think of anything off the top of my head that I can think of that has a great ETB that's also a powerful wizard, but there will be. I mean, it's not like it.
And most importantly, we should probably point out that this is Swanee's own vanity card. So the legendary maker of this set, one of the key pillstones of our team. Yeah. What a legend. Yeah. Shout out to you, buddy.
It's about as... I don't know if you could actually get more of a squad card than this.
Yeah, exactly. And that artwork is just... I mean,
Harmonic Prodigy is one of Swanee's... he's tried to make that card work so many times. He's just it's there. It's there.
Yeah, I mean, when you can get these kind of effects going, having such a specific condition for it to double trigger is a little bit tough. But when you get these,
I mean, you just put this into play on turn 2, no effect, and then turn 3 you play some powerful wizard that says draw a card. You draw 2 cards or something like that.
Exactly.
You know, like create a food token, create 2 food tokens, something like that.
If you have a powerful wizard that has a bounce ETB, can it then bounce this and then this comes? I don't know how that does that.
You're trying to make it go to infinite combo.
Yeah, is that going to work somehow? So this is bounce and it's put 2 bounce triggers on the stack.
It'd work, but I don't
know if it does anything. Like Mike there.
It's like Yorion and another bounce effect, but with no ETBs. Just putting 2 things into play for this. You're just moving cardboard for the sake of it.
Exactly. All right, here you go.
All right, we have the faction champion, legendary creature, God Wizard. So not a powerful wizard, a God Wizard. Vigilance, lifelink, haste, trample. When faction champion enters the battlefield, creatures your opponents control lose all abilities and have base power and toughness 0-2 until end of turn. How castable is that casting cost in this set?
We've got exactly 1 dual land type. For each of them.
Okay.
And then we've got some green cards that give you 1 of any colour matter, but we're not talking a huge amount.
Sure, so it's
I easily played.
Because this is the best card in the set if it's castable. I haven't seen the rest of the set, but this thing's.
No, I mean Leo had it he was trying to reanimate it. There's some there are reanimation strategies.
Until end of turn. Okay, maybe not the best card in the set, but this thing's like obscene.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, all of those effects are great, but again, I mean, and not that this is the yardstick you'd be using ever, but like. There was a case where he was able to get this on a battlefield, but John presents whatever it was. It's a 6/6.
Yeah.
Sorry,
well, not anymore.
But then you can just wait that 1 turn.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess then there's a 10-point life swing and whatever else it wants to do.
Yeah, I mean, you're not dying. Yeah. Like you're not like this thing's got vigilance. Like it's coming in. It's on O and it's on D. Like vigilance is like the 3rd best keyword in limited. So there's a reason for it. You're not dying with this thing. This thing's going to kill you.
Yes,
but if you can't cast it, then it doesn't matter.
It would be hard. Yeah, playing 3 colours was super easy, but I think I was prioritising lands higher than a lot of other players. So I had like a load of dual lands, so I was able to easily. My first 3 turns were just like tap land while I'm casting, and it's playing 1 turn behind.
The format was quite slow. Is that?
It's pretty slow.
I mean, pretty slow. Yeah.
I mean that lends itself.
A lot
to
of
this.
grizzly bears with slight upside.
That lends itself to this.
Yep.
You know, if games are going to turn 8, 9, 10, and you're even looking to extend the game, then there's a world in which even this is a kind of card that will pull you out of that deficit too.
Absolutely.
Your mana screwed, you're struggling or whatever, and then this thing comes into play and it's like, none of your creatures can block, all my creatures can attack, and there's a 10-point life swing, and this thing has vigilance. Like it's there on the other side. Like there's a world into which this thing just ends games every time it comes down if it's slow.
And again, the 5/5 real hard to kill. There's a red spell that does 5 damage. There's obviously things like the chow down that can maybe
sorry, Hoody,
destroy
that one.
But that is a beast of a card.
No, definitely.
I love these underpants. I don't know if there's a place to get to order these.
Might have to speak to our merch guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go to the next one. I'm just gonna let my dog in. Buddy.
Hey. You smell food.
All right, next up we have. This is mine. Go kart winner, and it's 2 red and a white for a legendary creature, human pilot, flying, 1st strike, haste. Equipment and vehicle spells cost you 1 less to cast, and it's a 3/3. This is pretty cool. There are some real mean, and we'll get to it when we do artifacts. There are some mean vehicles in this set. 8/6 with haste, which in this format is crazy.
8/6 with haste. Yeah. Sure.
Off the top of my head, it's a crew 4.
Yeah, it was a crew 4. I played it in my deck and won me most of my games. Yeah. It didn't look like an absolute standout when I drafted it, but I'll tell you what, it won lots of games.
Yeah, again because of that the 4 is I don't know. I think that you got a word for a 4, but the 4 toughness or power in this. Yeah,
it's a break point.
It's a really important thing because. For that mean artifact, the vehicle, it was in my sideboard, but there's no way I could play because I didn't have exactly anything that would give me that kind of ability to crew it easily. But making them cheaper is awesome, and something like this can obviously crew pretty well too. And, it's got its own effects.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably don't want to be
Full amount of flying first strike haste.
Exactly.
Pretty good.
You're not.
So,
I mean, I don't actually
that's-
know what world you're
that's a hell of a
ever
raid.
crewing anything
Yeah.
with.
Even
a
without
hell
that
of a
second line, it's very,
It's
very playable.
lightning angel.
Yeah.
Exactly. Easy to cast lightning angel. It's very
Actually,
good.
flying first strike haste. That's
You're not blocking it.
Yeah, no, you're not.
You're not
There's
getting-
not that
you're not
many
blocking it.
flyers either.
This thing will get you dead real quick.
Yeah. And most of the flyers are just not 3/3. Like that's a really good.
Well,
way
even
to
then,
fly.
they have to be 3/4s, right? It's
Mhm.
rest track.
Of course,
You're not beating this thing in
Yep.
combat.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So yeah, great card actually. That I would be.
I love it, guys.
That I'd have no problem first picking that.
Yeah, I mean,
That
it's
is-
super solid.
Yeah,
Super solid.
it's
And,
definitely
it's just
definitely
a
that.
nice little red black card. You
Yeah.
don't actually need equipment and vehicles, but you
Yep.
can lean into it if you want.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And of course, it's a nod to Condon's dominance on the go-kart track. So he's won, I'm pretty much sure, every go-kart race he's been in. So
Yeah, I reckon guys like Kynan exist to silence people that constantly whinge about their car being slow in go-karts. It's like, why does Kynan never get the slow car?
Yeah, that's right.
I've never seen him complain about how slow his car was.
That's a real Nathan problem, isn't it?
Yeah. So very good at go-karts. We'll beat you every time. Here we go.
all right,
Take it away, the man himself.
I'm glad I got this card. We've got Hoodie Predicts Snow. It's 4 mana. It's a saga. First chapter is exile a card from your hand face down. Second chapter is tap up to 2 target non-land permanents. They don't untap during their controller's next untap step. And the third phase is you may play the exiled card without playing its mana cost. And of course, I'll get to the flavour soon. Yeah,
Well, you reckon you played against this?
I have played against this, and it's one of those cards where you read it and you think maybe there's going to be actually situations in the game where this card won't play great. And it's one of those cards where you read it, you're like, is this even good? I've been on the receiving end of it being good, and it was courtesy of you.
Yeah, many people are on the receiving end of this being good.
Yeah, so I think it's one of those cards. It's going to be a brilliant card if you can play it early. Playing it late, in mid to late game, definitely won't be so good. You'll effectively be only really using its second ability. You can also backfire on the odd occasion if you use its first ability and they disenchant it or do a number of different things. So I think it's one of those things with one of those cards with a massively high ceiling, but also pretty low bar as well on occasion.
If they can blow it up after you've done Act 1, that is just such a blowout, right?
Yeah.
Like you put your best card underneath it, it's a big card itself, and you just get completely blown out for very, very low cost of a disenchant.
Yeah.
But when it doesn't, what I found with it is that it is easily the best reanimator card in because there's other sagas, there's the saga in black, which is like you have to jump through about 6,000 loops to get a reanimation spell off, and then I think it's like you can't even attack with it. Something crazy, like really, really hard, and it's a saga as well. There's a really good 4-drop, a black 4-drop that lets you just get something back and lets you get it untapped if you sack a food at the same time, which is really great. I had that in my deck as well. But this, if it works, I mean, if you just curve this out, play it on 4, and put a 7-drop underneath it.
Pretty good with the Faction Champion.
Faction Champion, yep. So Faction Champion, any of the Jono presents. The one that I most consistently won with was the Gibbo card, Master of Rectangle Cardboard.
Yeah, every time something comes into play, I'm not surprised.
7/7 trample, you get that out on turn 6, effectively kind of, and you've already, prepaid the cost stage, you got and tap down all this stuff. Just unbeatable every time, you just concede to it, it's that good.
And of course the flavour comes from, we booked this place in Ball for Faction Invitational months out. It was late May, so basically the first week, 1 week before snow season started. I predicted snow would happen. I got laughed at by everyone in the chat, particularly you, Shane. And sure enough, we get there and there is snow everywhere. Of course, the ironic thing is it was one of the worst snow seasons in recent history, so there wasn't much snow after that. But
there's a hell of a lot when we're up there.
Yeah,
it was
nice, I mean, you can see, I think that is an actual photo.
That's in the photo, right?
Yeah.
And the quote, "I'd like a written apology, please," was me on our local chat asking for an apology.
So good.
With a quick quote. without playing. It should be without paying its mana cost, not without playing.
Oh yeah, exactly. We noticed that as well. Yeah.
I have to errata it.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Next up, we have. Oh, so just on that quickly, I wouldn't. It's not like I'm first picking that, especially because it's in Simic, and that's not necessarily where you're going. But
Simic no good.
Well, it's not that it's no good. It's just any predicting, like, because it's a rare. You know, you're going to be getting it one of the first cards in any of the given packs that you may get it out of, and it's like unless you're already kind of doing that. It's not great. Yeah.
So with these, just to clarify, because again, I do not know. With these packs, has Swanee broken it down so that's equal amount of like mythic rares, uncommons, and commons, like the distribution being correct to that of like a regular draft set, or somewhat closer. Like there's not an overabundance of rares.
There
like,
definitely
not three or four.
No.
So you open a pack, you've got 1 rare, 3 uncommons, and 12 and 11.
I'm not
No, it's like
sure.
Dominaria and a legendary creature.
Okay, yeah, okay, that makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, and so
Great.
legendary creature can be 2 drops.
That's phenomenal.
It's basically Dominaria. Yeah,
So good.
Super.
Holy
That
shit.
makes sense because I remember seeing it like some packs I think with a couple of rares, but then I definitely wasn't seeing anything with like a heap of rares, so I wasn't 100% sure on that.
Yeah, so that just would have been that the legendary was also rare.
Awesome.
And you're rare in there as well.
That makes sense.
But yeah, I got this pack 3, and I think it was pick 3, pack 3.
Set up for it, right?
Well, funnily enough, the deck that I was drafting, so it was black, blue, and then it was like bomb green card in 3, like the Jono Presents green card, and I was like, this card, it's so far and above power level, like I could drop my whole deck for this card, and just put this in there with a bunch of forests and just hope to play it on curve and just win.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then it was like, so it was a Jono
I gotta
bomb
see
rare, and then it was the
cards.
Gibbo rare, which is also just an insane bomb 7/7 with trample. You just can't deal with it. And then it was like this came after, and it's like, oh, hang on a second, exile one of these, and all right, well, looks like we're green now.
Sure.
And then it was like just kept taking. I'd kind of pre-taken a lot of jewels when there weren't good picks, just in case something like that happened, and it did.
Yeah.
So that worked really well.
That's all the cube paying off for you. That's what that is.
Pretty much, yeah, exactly. It's like if you got the colours, you can cast anything. That's where you want to be.
Yeah.
And it definitely felt like that. Go ahead, take it away.
It's green of the white for a 2/2. It's called Inspired Lawmaster. Legendary creature, human noble. Washed creatures you control get +2/+0. And then 3 green white hybrid and tap it. You create an 0/2 green and white washed creature token. Pretty insane. +2/+0 for 2 mana.
Exactly.
Is absurd.
Yeah, it turns all your wash creatures.
If you've got
tutus.
if there's wash creatures, like if there's
There's
an
a lot of wash
abundance,
creatures in the faction,
Yeah.
brother.
this thing is insane.
Real
It's
good,
really
yeah.
good. Man, works by itself, creating like 4 mana for a 2/2. It's pretty modest, but you know you want things to do with your mana.
Yeah.
And like if you've just got curve, I don't know, 1 mana 1/1 wash guy into this, and away you go.
Yeah.
You know?
So will all wash creatures are O2s? Because O2, right? It goes deep, man. It's crazy.
So there's no wash.
No. They're all O2s. So he turns them all into 2/2s. And the point, because he's told that through story, he gives a second wind for those still hungry for battle.
The flame is just insane. I mean, this is Dan Weeble's vanity card, who was kind of he was the second faction champs when he was kind of the original godfather of the
I can
community.
already see the next card.
But the beauty about the flavour is, I mean, there's the group of wash guys like myself, like your Pete's and your Gazzers, and
shit.
Dan inspires us all to be not washed anymore. So, the flavour's there.
Yeah, I've only had the opportunity to play against him once. It was at Champs in...
The one he won?
No, he didn't win it. There was the one that Rob won.
Oh, yeah.
He was there, yeah.
Yeah, that was the one after.
Yeah. And that was the time it was really, really fun to get to play with him. All right, next up, we got the Lingering Soul Hymns. Oh my god, I just love it so much. It is above bounds. There's 2 of them. All right, we got Lingering Soul. It's one white black for a legendary creature, Spirit Soldier. It's a 1/1 Flying. Other legendary and token creatures you control get +1/+1.
I can't look at that card. Sorry. I can't.
1 and a black. Exile Lingering Soul from your graveyard. Create 2/1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying. Activate only as a sorcery. What I love, I just love all the Chow ones because it's like anyone who has ever played with him instantly understands.
Oh, yeah.
This is what the man is known for. It's his signature, and to have that lived out in these cards is just such a great homage to Chow.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Every time I bump into him at like a tournament, I always give him the so what are you playing? And I know what the answer's going to be, and he always responds with it. And I'm like the whole time I'm going this one laughing at him. Yeah, look at homage to
It doesn't get better than that.
a great dude, like an awesome guy to be around as well.
But yeah, costs. I mean, everything makes sense about this card. Warzov, just pack one, pick one.
In the back, it's just
yeah, I know. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Oh, fantastic.
All right.
We've got Major Facilitators, a legendary creature, a powerful wizard. It's 2 mana, which is white and blue, 2/2 flying. So already that's looking pretty good. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, Major Facilitators gets +1/+1 until end of turn.
So that would double up with the other powerful wizard. So
yeah,
they'd get that effect twice.
I mean, if I'm in the colours, I'm always going to be playing a 2/2 for 2 flying creature.
Yeah, these ones that are like grizzly bears with multiple bits of upside are really, really strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and yeah, I'm sure with the powerful wizard archetype, obviously we saw that Swanee's Vandy card before, I think it was. So yeah, look, very decent card. Of course, it's the flavour reflects kind of 4 of the guys in the faction that help put together the major tournaments, which are the Faction Champs and the Faction Invitational. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that creature.
Yeah, loving it.
Yeah, this one into Lingering Soul is pretty good.
Yeah,
And it's
absolutely.
4.
Yeah,
Definitely. Like a 3/3. Yeah, coming in.
Yeah. It's hard though when you're doing these multicolours as well. 'Cause, that's an uncommon actually. So that is a one design thing of the set that is really
Is that
hard.
an uncommon? Sure, that looks like a rare to me.
Yeah, I've got the set here, and you can see when you have a look at some of them, it can be real tough to kind of.
Yeah, I might
But
have.
it's a good uncommon.
Yeah, exactly.
Uncommon.
I might have got my cards mixed up when I was sort of thinking some were rare when they were uncommon.
These things are cursed.
Yeah, that's the giant.
Oh,
It's playing.
Of course, for all of you out there,
It's
we
crazy.
actually
It's in sleeves as well. It's crazy.
Who presents beam?
we actually got these cards last week and we were able to draft with it on Saturday, and quality's good.
Legit feels like you're just playing a smooth, real game of Magic.
Exactly
with all your mates on the cards.
Yeah,
It is that good.
if you have anyone out there that wants to draft this, give us a shout out.
Oh yeah. I think you'll find that. I know every one of them. There's going to be a bunch. You're going to put it away. All right, Trent, there you go.
Michael, Hooded Overseer, 2 white black for a legendary creature, human advisor. You're not washed.
Definitely washed.
Michael, Hooded Overseer enters the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it. Whenever a player casts a spell, remove a 1/1 counter from Michael, Hooded Overseer. If you do, each of that player's opponents draws 3 cards.
So classic standstill.
Pretty
Yeah.
good. Yep.
That is good.
Yep.
Someone was playing. I think Alex.
It was
playing
actually
it.
Alex playing it, and I played him in the first round, and he was literally playing Hood Tribal. He had all the Hood cards, so that was interesting. He kept on basically cycling back his sagas into play with his various Hood cards, and he played this card, and it was the classic. He played it. We both had a handful of cards, and I was thinking, how do I play through this? I think I remembered in the past someone saying the way you play through Standstill in Least Legacy and those kind of things is you just cast into it early. Maybe I got it wrong, but that's essentially what I did. I think I won that game anyway, but yeah, it's an interesting card.
Yeah, I mean, this card's again, if the format's slow, it's tough. Like, hard to pressure. Yeah, hard to pressure life totals. This thing's gonna get its money sometimes, like all the time, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna want to be playing a deck that's got a lot of. You got to have ways to protect yourself because you're probably not playing like it's a big cost, like 4 mana with 2 colours in it, to just get that out there and kind of it all by itself not kind of do anything. It's you kind of asking the opponent obviously a very hard question by playing it, but it's not like it is winning the game for you, which is a consideration.
I disagree. I think it does.
Or just,
but I don't know. Again,
just
it's all in
win,
context. This, and then there's been a bunch of blink effects and stuff as well. Like imagine you do this, you crack it, you draw 3, then you ephemerate it, or like you swanny it, bounce it.
He did actually
play.
He did actually bounce.
No, but if you ephemerate it, they will draw the 3 cards.
No. So after the counter's been moved.
Oh,
so you take the counter off it, and then you do it again, and then they're like a bit in a really tough spot, right? So you can't beat the first 3, how do you beat the second 3?
And Hoody's vanity card referencing his love for vintage Magic cards and his role as team captain.
I love the artwork. I absolutely love the artwork.
Fantastic. I love that.
That's a great card. That's a fantastic card.
Yeah, really great design. Alright, we got Nikan, Assassin of the North, and it's Golgari, so black and a green for a legendary creature, human rogue. It's a 2/2, another grizzly bear. Death touch. You can that's untap it? Yeah. So you can untap it, exile a creature card from your graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on Nikan, Assassin of the North. Exile a creature card from your graveyard. Big build around. Like I've never found that there were that many creatures in my bin.
Yeah, I think
filling your bin is real hard unless you're blue, in which it's really easy. It's not particularly easy. I mean, maybe you're playing this in some. Again, this is one you'd have to kind of know more about what the other cards are doing, but in some kind of value-y, good small creature curve out kind of Golgari or Jund kind of deck, that's probably pretty powerful.
I mean, even like the old vanilla test 2/2 Death Touch for 2 mana, still pretty decent. Yeah. You're not going to be using its ability like in the first few turns, obviously, but the natural progression of a limited game, you're generally getting creatures in the bin at some stage. So, yeah, look, it's definitely a very passable card.
Yeah, and those Death Touch creatures in this set, from just from playing it once, it's super relevant. Like because often that's what is going to swing one of these games. If someone plays one of these big dumb creatures, and you just can't deal with it, or Death Touch creature is going to help you do that. So
there's no way you'd ever cut this thing. This thing's like so good on rain. Like 2/2 Death Touch is just so good. Yeah, it fills your curve. It deals with like some of the cards. Like it beats up on them. Like you people have to dump a bunch of mana or a removal spell into it. And this is not what you actually want to remove.
That's right, exactly.
It's a real pain. And then this thing if there is stuff in the set, so I take you my 2/2. You're like, I'll block my 2/2. So I'll discard a creature card, I'll untap my things to 3/3. It's like, okay, cool. There's some synergies there. So.
Yeah.
And do you think the reason why it's untap and not tap is because you typically don't want to be attacking with a 2/2 Death Touch? Is that why he's made that so that it untaps? So you've got to have attacked before you can get its 1/1 counter by.
I think it adds a different profile on the card for sure. Because Death Touch is, as you say, with the exception of having first strike attached to it, is traditionally a defensive keyword. So it's cool that it's this way. It's really, really, really cool because it just puts that different mold on a defensive card, like a defensive keyword. So
there is a really interesting card, and it's a black. I think it's black and 4, maybe 5 casting costs, and it's that Epic Night Out, and it's a night that references Daniel Belial's Epic Night Out, and it's like a 5/6 Death Toucher or something. Really bizarre.
Yeah, less good.
Yeah, and it's just like vanilla 5/6, but with Death Touch. And
6 mana, kind of typical kind of.
And those bigger cards always, like Colossal Dreadmore and the iconic, but they ebb and flow with the power and toughness of the format. Like they scale with the power level of the format.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, this is sweet.
And the other thing is, this card that you do is obviously like you just sit it out as a defensive creature, but then make potentially unfavourable attacks or blocks that mean that you're forcing your opponent into a position where they kind of maybe it feels like there's an advantage, but then you can maybe kind of get that back. Oh no, but I don't know. Actually, that's tough.
And
Cool
of
play
course,
pattern.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
this
exactly,
would
yeah.
have a very interesting play pattern attached.
Yeah, I bet there'll be someone who will play this card and just pull everyone's pants down.
Yeah.
And people will go, oh,
It's got some
okay.
cool. It's got some really cool little things.
and of course that was Kynan's Vandy card,
Of
which
course, yeah.
referenced his deadly skills as a Magic player.
Not anymore.
Deadly skills are magic.
These should be an ode to you fucking wash boy.
Stick to the go-karting.
I got Pentadic. Pentadic Spirit God. I'm going to mispronounce the hell out of this card.
Yeah.
You exile it from your hand. Add red or green. I should say it's a 1/1 for 3 mana.
Mhm.
When it enters the battlefield, with 2+1/+1 counters on it. So it immediately becomes 3/3 once it hits the battlefield. And you remove a +1/+1 counter from it to add 1 mana of any color. It's so at the very least you're getting a 3/3 for 3. You can use it as its ability in your hand as a Simian
or Elvish Spirit
Guard,
Guard,
yeah.
exactly.
or Elvish Spirit Guard.
Yeah,
Which probably won't get used a hell of a lot in limited, but it's there if you, I don't know, for whatever reason you might want to ramp into a Giant Presents card that 1 turn earlier.
I don't unless you're under some serious pressure, I didn't think you'd be doing that.
You probably
just want to be casting.
You probably
this card.
would, and it's going to have very limited case studies as far as that ability goes. But look, it's still damn solid. Of course, this card references legendary Joel Hill.
The Pentac Prism and the Simian
That's
Spirit
it.
Guide casting ad nauseum, 100%.
You'll see this legend at plenty of games often, and he's a master of the cardboard rectangles indeed.
Mm.
This card is absurd.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
This card is absurd.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's super flexible.
This just screams faction champion to me.
Mm.
Again, this is a way to do the faction champ. 3 mana 3/3 that just turns on your presents or whatever. It's add 1 mana of any card. It's not red or green.
Oh no,
This thing's not restricted.
Yeah, and I reckon I don't know if I haven't talked to Mike about this, but I think there are a lot of effects stapled onto cards that don't have the tap symbol in them,
Sure.
like this.
Yeah.
Where you
I mean, Pentac Prism was the same.
yeah,
Right,
yeah,
so
that's right,
it's
exactly.
it's the reference to the Pentac Prism.
Yeah.
This card
and you
is
can
really
use this.
exciting.
You can use this twice as well.
Yeah,
actually.
you
yes,
can
this
just
is
cast
part
it
two.
and get
So
2
turn
mana.
3, I'll play
yeah,
this.
of course.
Turn 4, I'll play a land. I'll remove 2. I'll put a 6-drop in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
forget what I said about.
And the 6-drop doesn't even have to be in his
No,
colours.
yeah, it's sort of like I
It's
said.
double black 6-drop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is anything. Yeah,
Yeah,
this card is obscene.
This is
It's
fantastic.
so good.
Yep.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. Love that. Yeah, it's funny. The top effect there is typically the more busted thing of something like this, but as we kind of mentioned,
In ridiculous
in a
form.
lower power format.
Yeah.
This is not really what we're doing.
I mean, in a pinch, you miss a land drop.
Sure, yeah,
you know,
exactly, yeah.
like it pitches like those things help.
Yep. Flexible. There definitely feels like there's a red-green kind of beatdown.
Mm.
So that's what Kyle was playing, and it seemed really good. So yeah, absolutely.
That is shout out to Swanee. That is unreal.
Yeah.
That is that flavor. That's my favorite card so far.
Awesome.
Like,
Yeah,
obviously, I work with Joel. I have a
Yeah.
pretty strong bond with him, but that is unreal.
Yeah.
That is
And you know what
so clever.
Yeah, and the cool thing is like you got that relationship with Joel. Even if that card was half as good, you're still going to be happy to put it in your deck because you just want to play your mate and go,
I'll play
alright,
your
Joel's
mate.
going to
Yeah.
smash into this, you know,
Yeah,
Joel.
I watched him top 8 the calling. There's no way I'm not putting him in the set.
Exactly,
No way.
Exactly. So there's just so many ways to enjoy it. It's really, really cool.
He's back.
Here we go.
So we got the powerful wizard, Mike Swan himself. 2 blue red, legendary creature, powerful wizard with flying. Whenever one or more powerful wizards you control deal combat damage to an opponent, exile up to 1 target instant or sorcery card in your graveyard. Copy it. You may cast that copy this turn.
So
Pretty modest. Like obviously a very, very powerful effect.
Yeah.
4 mana for a 2/1 flyer is not good.
Yeah.
Dies to any removal.
yeah.
Gets blocked by any flyer, any reach creature. Like you have to do some work. But then again, don't know the set.
Yeah.
But there might be some the spells might be unreasonable, and therefore you stretch to have this.
Now, you make a good point. There are a couple, at least at the top of my head, spells which deal like 1 damage to a
Exactly.
creature or have that effect.
Like
on
the
creatures.
the Nathan card.
Yeah,
or
there's quite a
ETB,
few.
yeah, every
So one toughness
opponent's
creature you have to
one.
be quite careful with
Yeah.
in this set.
Yeah, it's funny because there's that point the 4/4, but there's definitely it's a massive liability playing 1 toughness creatures because they just seem to die real easy. I mean, they obviously die to anything in Magic in general, but there are
If there's a large
many
spread,
ways to kill them.
Yeah, I played Hoodie Tears Up the Track, and its first 2 Saga abilities were dealing 1 damage to any target. So
yeah,
as
stuff
an
like that
example.
just gets absolutely wrecked. So yeah, big casting cost. I mean, if you look at its ceiling, you're talking about putting that with the other
blow its
like
roof
powerful.
off. It'll blow the
Yeah,
roof
yeah,
off.
you know, with the other powerful wizard, and then you're copying 2 instants or sorceries. But again, it's not that easy to fill your bin. So it's not like you're sitting there with a embarrassment of riches in your bin, and if only I could cast this time walk out of my bin, or it's not. The cards in your bin, they're maybe not that great. You're getting 2 ponders or something.
Sorry, Swanee.
Yeah. All right, we've got Rover, Master Brewer. It's 1 black red for a legendary creature, human alchemist. It's a 2/2. Another 2/2. When Rover, Master Brewer, enters the battlefield, remove a card in your hand from the game. Then put a card from outside the game into your hand. We didn't discuss how this works. Has anyone?
Outside the game would be cards that you drafted or cards that you drafted.
Just in your sideboard.
Yeah,
okay.
because that is your that is quintessentially your sideboard.
Oh, that is the official terminology, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, then there you go. All right.
Sick.
Is that good?
Sick.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just because the variants of cards you can pick from your sideboard.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can. I mean, I just keep going on multicolored cards, right? But if you play this, you have an unplayable spell or that you can't cast or you're not going to get, you can pitch that and get the island that you need.
Yeah.
Oh,
sure. So you can fix your mana with this.
Or even reverse, like ditch an island from your hand later on in the game.
Yeah, or
Grab
3 mana,
something,
3 mana, remove that, go and get some completely unreasonable 4 or 5 mana uncommon or whatever that you didn't, like the 24th card or whatever, and then play that.
Yep, it didn't make. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Is the kind of card that would influence what you play in the sideboard?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Is there if you've got a 23rd card in your deck, you might be tempted to more move that towards your sideboard, so you've got something okay to search for with this card?
Yeah, I mean, like, if you had just, like, the 5th or 6th best removal spell, and, you always play all your removal or whatever, but this, and then you have this card, so, well, actually, I don't need to do that anymore, because in a pinch, I can just go and get that, and have that as backup play.
Yeah, I mean, tutor effects are super,
or just have
especially one that
just have a random value artifact or something like like a Pentime Prism or the Ichor Wellspring, something of that nature that you don't necessarily want to play because it greases the wheels, but that stuff's hard to get in your deck.
Yeah,
but just have that on the outside. It's like, oh, a nice little 2-for-1. This allows you to tap your mana.
There's absolutely no hoops to jump through. It's just got to hit the battlefield and then you get it.
That's sweet.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet actually. That is really good. I would bet you my bottom dollar that if that was a wizard's card, it would say you may put that card from outside again into your hand. You may cast it using any mana, using mana of any colour. So you could go put some massive off-colour bomb in your.
You can imagine if this was a powerful wizard, this could have some real good ramifications with the first.
Dude, 100%,
with the first.
The
first
Panharmonicon, exactly. Yep. Love that card. Oh yeah, and so who?
What's Rob? It's Rob.
That's Rob?
And even references
Rob
the drinking.
Verity card. Oh my god, referencing his wild mind for brewing.
References the drinking.
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy. That's a deep cut. I still can't really see.
Can't see Rob. I love Australia.
Of course, Rob's a superstar at developing decks, even up to the old PPTQ level of just random ass cards together and somehow winning tournaments with it. And, this is the kind of card he'd somehow make work as well.
Yeah. He was one of the first players that introduced me to that concept where we were playing a modern GP and I was playing Eldrazi Tron because I didn't know much about the game, but I knew this is an easy deck to play.
Best deck.
And it's a very good deck, but he was playing white Eldrazi and I was like, why wouldn't you play like the one that's winning tournaments and stuff? And then I played against him and he beat me every time. And I'm like, okay, so if you know how to pilot it and you know what you're doing, and you know what you're playing around, you can actually you really can kind of play outside of very narrow confines.
It's a beautiful thing, and like to jump off that and just go into that a little bit, like Magic at the moment, especially like because I'm playing Highlander again, right? And it's just like everyone's playing these decks, and it's just like Rob's the perfect person to be like, why? It's like, because it's the best deck. Why? Why can't I just do something else? Like there's 20,000 cards that have been printed in the past 3 years. Why can't I choose one of them? Why can't I play one of them? They're all good.
I would say that why most people say you can't is because that very few people can. It's something that a lot of people would want to be able to do. Be like, oh no, I've got this card in here because it's going to deal with that, and I've got this card to deal with that, and it's like the whole thing just falls apart as soon as they mulligan,
Yeah.
Whereas Rob somehow is able to toe that really fine line of it being spicy but actually functional and good.
Yeah. No, he's a very good balance, and you actually see it in some of his limited decks too. Some of his limited decks have some really awkward sideways choices about like why would you play this as opposed to like the staple or whatever that's supposed to be in the deck all the time. And it's like, well, because Rob, like, you can think he done the work, think a little bit differently, and there's a reason for it, and it's actually just correct, or more to the point, the way that Rob views the world.
Exactly.
He has a great result as a result of that. So.
Yeah, I love that. And then again, just having that artwork is
so
good. Yeah, love it.
I'm so glad I got this card. I'm gonna breeze through this and talk more about the flavour in a second. I've got Ryo's Secretive Agents, 2 mana, it's a 3/3. You can't cast Ryo's Secretive Agent during the second or third turns of the game. 2 mana, Ryo's Secretive Agent phases out. Okay, we have to get the classic story. Alright, this is the vanity card of Gary in our team, who's an absolute enigma and one of the funniest guys you'll meet. Been to a lot of GPs with Gary, probably up to 10 to this point, where amazingly he made day 2 of this GP. I actually stood with him in his last 2 or 3 rounds. He got to like 7-2. Literally walked him back to the pub everyone was at. We're all cheering. I basically got him on my shoulders metaphorically. Basically pumping him up, Rocky style. Tomorrow's going to be an amazing day. You might only get to do this once in your career, so enjoy it, etc., etc. I wake up in the morning the next day. I walk over to the GP. I'm walking around to the tables and I can't spot him. Where's Gary? I'm getting more and more kind of heated because I know what was coming. I'm like, where is he? I'm starting to swear. He doesn't rock up. Turns out that he got a message from a girl that night saying, do you want to join me at the beach? Thus the beach in the background of the card. And he decided to skip old day 2 to go for a classic date on the beach. So
it's my man right there.
Amazing guy.
He knows what it's like.
And you know what? We can't really hold it against. I mean, I sort of do, but
you definitely do.
I sort of don't as well. So what a legend. What do you think of this card? Interesting card.
You go.
Oh, so I played this card actually in my deck. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, it was amazing. Yeah, really, really good. Really, really good. Yeah, if you can cast it easily, the fact that it can phase out, so you can block, phase it out, do whatever, phase it out. Really, really hard for opponents to interact with this card.
It's interesting because would you, Trent, play, if hypothetically you could play it first, second, or third turn of the game with its phasing ability, would you even do that? Is it the kind of card you probably wouldn't drop till turn 5? And after anyway, because you want to hold up that 2 mana?
Nah, 2 mana 3/3 is great.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you could. Super powerful it's got a lot of interesting applications, and it's a tough one to again grasp without knowing the rest of the format.
Yeah.
Like, is there a ton of trample in the set? Because if there's a ton of trample, this thing gets worse because like phasing out doesn't do anything about that.
Yeah, true.
I read this and I don't like it at all. I think it's a fine defensive tool, but the defense costs you like 2 every turn.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just not like it has unblockable or anything like that. It's just a 3/3.
Yeah.
So like 4 mana, turn 4, play this, put my 4th land, play this, and then you have 2, so like they don't attack you because you can just phase it out.
Yeah.
If that's what your deck wants, great. But it's interesting they said it was amazing because like from a perspective it's not great.
Yeah.
Like, I actually just don't see it being that good.
I mean, sorry, I should probably tone down saying amazing. Like, it just always felt fine to play because the rate that you get, especially when you don't, I mean, because you want to be holding up your 2 to phase it out if you need to. But if you know you don't need to, it's just a really good rate, a cheap card to play.
Yeah, I mean 4 mana,
Yeah.
like two mana 3/3 on turn 4 lets you have 2 mana to do something else. That's totally fine.
And again, as we're seeing so many 2/2s, so many
Sure,
2/2s.
it beats
in
up all
set.
like
So
it beats up the wash
heaps of
boys
stuff.
for sure.
Yeah, so it either beats it up or it can block and phase out. There's not a whole lot of trample. There's a bit.
Yeah, I
But
don't
it
know.
just felt pretty solid.
I'd probably rather go to the beach than play this card myself, but you know.
If the format's slow,
Yep,
then
which it is, yeah.
this card is better.
Yeah.
I think that if the format's
It is a
fast,
slow
this card's not
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Like blue black's also not that easy. Like it's obviously it's easy blue black whatever, but
And blue black in this seems to be very. It seems to be like either you're kind of playing a control or a mill strategy as blue black.
sure. I mean, this works well in both of those strategies.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, it's just being a 2 mana 3/3
Yeah.
that's got a way of phasing out makes it pretty versatile. So yeah, probably not amazing, and I'm certainly not first picking it as a rare.
Yeah.
But it never felt bad when I
Yeah.
put it out. It was just like
Yeah.
another thing to put out and have your opponent go, ugh,
I would view this-
I can't attack anymore.
View this as like one of the best commons in the set or a reasonably rated uncommon.
Great way to, yeah, that's exactly how I'd see that, yeah. Man, try not.
So this one, it's this a sausage connoisseur.
It doesn't even look like a Photoshop. It looks like a real photo.
1 black green for a legendary creature, human advisor. When sausage connoisseur enters the battlefield, create a food token. 2 sack a food or a creature. Put a 1/1 counter on sausage connoisseur and draw a card for 3/3 as well. I didn't notice that.
That seems
This
great.
artwork.
I mean, that's got to be.
unreal.
That's just S tier art.
So good.
Yeah, and it's diabolical.
Some anime that is just delivered. Like Mike's gone deep with this one. This card's super solid. Super solid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would be always happy to play this card. You would never not.
And this is an uncommon.
It's an uncommon.
This is an uncommon.
Yeah,
This is real good.
really good for an uncommon. Really, really good. Turning your creatures, protecting your creatures, turning your creatures into actual cardboard later on. Protecting against counterspell, creature removal spells. Chump blocking allows you to chump block and get ready to return with drawing a card just by sacking the creature. And then this thing this thing grows. Like the fact that this thing gets bigger. Like you said, it's instant speed as well. Like there's no sorcery on this to drawback. Like this in modern set design of like a WotC set, 100%.
Always has a tap symbol there.
Well, it's either a tap symbol or activate only as a sorcery.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
there's always a restriction there.
Yeah.
The fact that there's no restriction there really brings this card up.
I think that's, and now just going through these and really recognising that, and after playing it, I reckon that's again, we'll have to ask Swanee, but I think that's he's really done that on purpose to enable combos and fun play patterns.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, things that, because none of them are like going to end the game on the spot or anything like that. And maybe there's a way you can figure out one that does. That's probably something. But yeah, I think he really wants to, incentivize people to just keep doing effects over and over.
And there's just so many things you can sacrifice to it. I mean, you got washed creatures.
Yeah.
You got food, obviously.
Good with
creatures too,
good way to get creatures in the bin with Kynan.
Yeah.
Attack, untap, attack,
Yeah,
untap. And also interesting because you've brought up Hoody's leg, probably like the next three.
Sports injury,
Yeah, sports injury. This is good. Like 5th land, play this. Before they untap, make it a 4/4. Get the crit, get my thing back. Now play around the sports injury.
Yeah. Oh,
like
and you
there's
draw
those
a
games
card.
as well.
Huge, yeah.
Pretty sweet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Love that card.
I think that's the best artwork so far.
I mean, that's
I
just.
think that's clinch.
Can we make? Yeah, I would love.
That
it.
is-
We need to make a full size version
That
and,
is
and,
so
and
sick.
goes to the winner of champs or something.
So
That
sick.
is amazing.
That should be like, you know, when you go to the GP booths.
Yeah,
and they
that's
have-
what I'm saying. Yeah,
that's,
the big, yeah,
that's
yeah.
exactly what that one is, right?
I mean, if it, like, I don't have to read the flavour text in this one. If you met Braden, the man that loves a sausage, loves a sausage roll in particular, and I mean, you could call him a sausage connoisseur, and here he is.
He doesn't eat many things, but he loves a sausage.
He doesn't eat many things, that's true. He does like
This is
sausage.
a nod to Braden's deep appreciation of a fine sausage.
Alright, moving on.
Alright, we got Sheriff
Oi.
of Sandrin.
Awesome.
It's Demir, so it's blue and a black for a legendary creature, human rogue. It's a 1/3, tap, mill a card, add 1 colourless mana. Whenever 1 or more cards leave your graveyard, create a clue token.
I actually saw a couple of these going around pretty late in the draft.
Yeah, so again, this is a uncommon.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you're playing the mill kind of deck, this probably gets a lot better. Yeah, you gotta. This has too many hoops for me.
Yeah.
And adding 1 colourless, tapping it to add that 1 colourless as well. I don't know. That's not really where I want to be. I don't feel like that's really where I want to be anyhow.
Look, I mean, you're still getting, ignoring second ability, you're still able to tap it for a mana. 1/3 body's okay for a 2 mana creature. What do you think, Trent?
I think this card's great.
Yeah.
I think this card's great.
Yeah.
We've already referenced that there's the format slow, which
Mhm.
means you want to develop our mana and get our spells out. You've also played reference to tons of 2/2s in the format. This thing just blocks all the 2/2s.
Yeah.
Like Deranged Assistant, any mana dog is either the best card in the set. Like I can think of a dozen commons that are just 2 mana, tap, add, green or whatever.
Yep.
And they're like the best, second best, third best common in that
Sure,
format.
Yep.
Because they allow you to get out your cards
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
like
dude,
whatever.
yeah.
Like it doesn't fix you because it gives you colorless, but there's some synergies like with that. Like obviously that text at the bottom is giving you something. Like there's a reason that it's stapled there. This on turn 2, 3 mana, play my 4 drop. Turn 3, play my 4 drop. Turn 4, play my 5 drop. It's hard to lose those games limited.
Yeah.
And this also helps you when you get played out on lands. Like turn 2 this, miss my 3rd land drop. Okay, tap this, add a color, still get my 3 drop, and you're still playing the board. You've got the mana. It's a 1/3. It's like it's not gonna. It's a nice grease for the wheels.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
And like I said, if this gives you combos with anything to like create clue tokens, just humor me. What is a clue token again?
Is
Is
that
that
the one where you pay 2
2 and draw?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, great. I cannot. I have so many artifacts in my head at the moment.
Yes.
With all the tokens I'm making for the Highlander deck.
Yeah.
I cannot remember them all. I couldn't
Yeah.
remember what fucking
There's
card it
even
was,
there's even a blue card that I played on Saturday, which is a 6 mana, I think, 4/4 blue creature that for every might be in 7 mana or 6 mana. I think it's 6 maybe. For every instant or sorcerer I think you have in the bin, it costs 1 less to play.
Oh, sweet.
So you can with the colour of this you can
It's like
actually
Tolarian Terra, Cryptic Serpent kind of thing.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay,
so
cool.
you're getting the bonus of a mana and also the possibility of throwing spells in your bin, which I think there's a few cards where spells in your bin matter. So
Yeah, there are. But unless you've got a way to get spells, I typically don't like these effects where it's just mill a card in formats, especially where you don't have a lot of ways to manipulate the top of your deck. I feel like you mill that card and it's like, there's the card that I did need to get out of this. You know?
But that's just random shit. That's
exactly.
literally what you sign up for.
Yeah.
You know, and like that also allows you to lean into it and say, okay, well, just play this raised dead effect.
Yeah.
And then you get a sweet tooth, and then you get a sweet tooth ones, you know? Because this allows you to do some work.
Yes, exactly.
This like mill a card, it's like, oh, that's a downside. No, actually it's not.
No,
it's actually an upside because I choose to make it an upside.
Exactly.
The same with that second line of text. Like if you've got a raised dead effect, something like whenever one or more cards leaves your graveyard, right? So it's like raise dead, get back 2 creatures, make a clue token. It's like how do you
Fantastic.
lose that
Yeah,
game?
yeah, exactly.
Like
yeah,
the
yeah.
game is over. Your opponent loses.
Yes, exactly.
And that's all because this is you're just leading into what this does.
And
Yeah,
Black has
awesome.
a reanimate theme as well for this set. So
Yeah, and there's it's a really good reanimate spell, which is just a 4 mana, like black and 3 colorless, just reanimate a creature basically.
Just zombify.
Yeah, it does zombify work the same way because this one's tapped, or if you cast it and sack a food at the same time, it comes in untapped. Like,
Okay, cool.
full reanimate, and that is a really
I mean,
easy way
Zombify's a power card.
Yeah.
Power card.
really good way to, especially if you got some of these bigger creatures.
I love that card. I think that card's good.
Yeah, okay, I reevaluate looking at that. And this, to me, though, it also seems like the kind of card that I think many people will not want in their deck, particularly because of the way the colours are. The milling doesn't seem like it's actually a successful strategy. It's there. I don't know.
Sure.
I can't wait to see someone win a game and play that. But you will see this card, if it's right for your deck, you could see this easily pick 3 or 4 in a pack. People just aren't taking this necessarily.
yeah, we saw it on the weekend.
Yeah, I think it did at table.
Yeah, there was a lot going pretty late.
Yeah.
And of course, this is a vanity card of the great Tim Sandrin in our team.
Oh, the sheriff.
The Sheriff is an amazing nickname, one of the all-time best nicknames of the team. I won't. It's a long story. But basically, yeah, if you know it, you know it. It's a great nickname.
And that's why you mean why he's called the Sheriff?
That's right.
Because I don't know that. You'll have to tell me on later.
All right, I think that's up to me. We've got Syrinkus. 3 mana, 2/1. When Syrinkus enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic land card and put it onto the battlefield with a prize counter on it. As Syrinkus enters the battlefield, choose a basic land type. Lands you control with prize counters are the chosen land type in addition to their other types.
Great.
Love that.
Yeah, really interesting card.
Great.
I mean, just ramping like that's free ramp is awesome. Yeah, especially on turn 3.
Faction champ.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happened with Faction Champ? Oh, this is your way to cast Faction Champ. Yeah, there you go. Yep.
We did briefly touch upon 1 toughness. Can be a little bit of an issue in this set, but look, you're getting your basic land card and putting it on the battlefield, so you've already got your ETB effect.
Puts it into play.
That's a big thing. Like, if they want to kill it, go for your life. You've already got something out of it.
Yeah. So the second effect obviously stops. Like once it's dead, that land now just taps. Goes back to being a single.
Yeah. It's almost the kind of card you almost want them to waste removal spell on.
Trade with their Wash Boy or their 2/2. Yeah.
You're so far ahead if you're on turn. If you're curving that with Selesnya mana on turn 3, and then you've got your turn 5 is 5 mana, and ability to cast something like that crazy.
It's
5-drop.
It's also sweet because like, let's say game 1, they don't see this, but they see a multitude of different colours. Like you see a mountain and an island or whatever, and you're playing like 4-color, 5-color nonsense or whatever. And then game 2, they see this, they get one, you get a swamp, and you say, oh, that's also an island. It's like, shit, I got to kill that. It's like, that's really good for you because it's like, not only has this 2-for-1, like it's 2-for-1, it's ramped you, it's giving you color, and it's gonna like threaten their removal spell or whatever. It's awesome.
Exactly.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah, really
good.
That one. I love these like where there's just very little hoops. It comes in, does the thing, and you're already ahead.
And a few of these cards, like the thing that I'm really liking from like the set that I've seen so far is the cards are obviously sweet, but they're all putting emphasis on like the price of the card for your opponent. So this can put a heavy price on your opponent, depending on how you built your deck, or it can just be like a nice value card that you're in your green-white deck. And that's really, really cool. I love the fact that all these cards are not just like, oh, this is like the Faction Champ. Again, I keep going back to it. It's like, Faction Champ, you don't have to read it again. This card is insane. It'll win every game. And you don't need to worry about it because you know all the texts. Like, it's all that cards as well. They're just to win the game. This doesn't do that, but it has different like implications and pushing and pulling on like the way that your opponent has to evaluate it. It's super cool.
Yeah, love that. And just quickly, it's obviously Pete's vanity card. So Sir Incus is Pete Incus. It's his vanity card. He was the first to donate a dual land to the prize pool at a faction major.
That's
in an amazing display of generosity and set the vibe for the prizes being insane.
Just a quick note about that. Like, one of the early things we tried to do with the prizes at the faction events was basically it was a donation system. Anything over like $20 worth of prizes you put in, we leave it up to each individual person. It's basically confidential, so you don't feel like you need to put something in. But it just goes to show the generosity of the community. Like, I think
these events have like.
I think the average donation we've worked out is like $70 or $80 or something ridiculous, and it's on the back of the people that are in it, and it just goes to show that it's not about EV. It's about experiences. And Pete, you're an absolute legend for some of the incredible donations.
Yeah,
you've done.
absolutely.
Was this the champs where he was the Underground Sea, right?
Island.
But yeah, it might have been. I think it's a volcano.
First one was Volk, second one was Sea.
And this wasn't like these weren't cards that he just happened to have in his folder.
Yeah,
he purchased one of them from Star City Games. I think it's just insane.
And like these are like crisp.
Yeah, it was a nice one too.
Yeah, real good.
You love that artwork too.
Yeah,
it looks like some airbend and shit. It looks so sick.
Yeah. All right. We'll let the man read this one. This is great. I haven't seen this.
Swimming race at Phillip Island. 3 blue red. Chapter 1. Create a 1/1 white human creature token. Chapter 2. Create a 2/2 blue fish creature token. Chapter 3. Create a 3/3 red and blue shark creature token with haste.
How good is that? That is nuts.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah,
oh, I love that.
Boy, that's a lot of value.
Unfortunately, the artwork of Nathan is incorrect.
Yeah. It's so funny, the white human creature token. It's like all the little things.
The white human.
Yeah.
We're not letting you finish this description without telling the story, but please go right ahead.
Well, there was a swimming race at Phillip Island. People were getting amongst it and talking about how Nathan was going to the pool, and I believe he was doing laps and things like that. And then I think Gary just got involved. There's a little bit of this and that, and throwing it back and forth or whatever. And Nathan, I think Nathan, Gary, they swam first.
They did.
And then Gary, they unfortunately didn't finish the race.
Yeah.
He tried his best, but he didn't finish.
Actually, quite scary.
And then Gary finished, and then somebody played some music, and I walked out and pumped it up, and everyone was kind of, Trent can swim, and I got in the pool and like, oh, Trent can swim.
Yeah. And what gave it away was the goggles that were adhered to your face and only cover your pupils. These tiny little, perfectly, custom looking goggles.
Well, the funniest thing for months is your typical boys.
Yeah, it was a bit of this going on.
Months beforehand, basically, I started building up. Oh, you should race Trent, Nathan, and he's like, yeah, maybe I'll race it. We basically built it up, and lots of banter in the chat and that kind of thing. I think up until the race, I didn't even know if you were gonna race, and then I was thinking, like, you're downplaying, you're like, oh, maybe I won't. And then time comes, someone hits some music, and you come out, strolling out like Tarzan. You just utterly demolished.
Yeah, it was pretty sad.
And Gary's the kind of guy that's done ocean swimming before. He is no spring chicken when it comes to it. So, and you just played with him in there. So, yeah.
We've all got our strengths.
We do.
We've all got our strengths. You see the Geodude on the just emulating.
Yeah, I love it. I gotta say, when I look at this set, it makes me so happy that there's been so many times just there with the camera, taking these shots. It's like,
that is unreal.
Yeah, they'll go down. One day, we'll look back on them, and it's like, this is exactly how that kind of thing should be used.
And you know what? It's mainly you with the photography. It's like literally walking around with a full-time paid
wedding photographer.
It's insane. I see like the photos on the Wizard site, and I see some of the photos on the faction pages, and we've got better photography.
I know that just out there doing it for fun, but it is. I mean, this is exactly how photography should be.
It's so good. It's so
and just as a caveat, this is uncommon, but that's crazy good value, right? Like 6 toughness and power worth of creatures, one of which has haste.
It's not bad.
It's relentless.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
I'm not huge on it, to be honest. Just like 5 mana for the first 2 is not great. Like the 1/1 and 2/2, they're not going to do that much.
Yeah.
Like again, you just keep coming back to like the 2/2s and the 1/3s and that.
Yeah.
The 1/1, if you can find a way to make the 1/1 and the 2/2 like turn them into like food, like tokens or whatever,
Mhm.
make use of it. The 3/3 with haste is obviously good.
That's
And overall it's fine, but the fact that you don't get it, like I could see this card being a rare and just being like, get a Nathan, get a Pete, get a Trent all at the same time, and that being like a perfectly fine card. And that's probably this card's probably a little behind that.
Yeah. And again, it's one of these sagas that is just so vulnerable. If you create a 1/1 and then they disenchant it,
yeah, it's very expensive for that. I guess it's one of the potential payoffs for the Hood Tribal deck though. In terms of like, repeated casting, it's slow, but you will get value out of it in time.
Is there a bunch of things in this format that have like populate or the token, like double token generation? So like, let's say you've got something on the battlefield and say you play this, and instead of getting one Nathan, you get two Nathans. So you get two ones, and then you get two 2/2s, and you get two 3/3s.
Gee, that would be
because if you can like do that, obviously you're off. The game's over. It's really powerful. But I think it's pretty modest overall for power level.
Yeah. And what casting? What does that 3 have to look like to make this real good? Is it like
to be really good? It's 1 blue red. It's 1 blue red. Like 3 mana. 3 mana. So this is like turn 3 I play this, and then turn 5 you're getting that 3/3 shark. That's your sweet point. But that's a lot of rate for that.
You'd also be a lot happier, I guess, possibly if this was say just a sorcery and you just get them all the same.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before.
Yeah.
Like if I can compare this to some sagas and that from the recent set.
Yeah.
This is well behind a lot of the other sagas in those sets that are uncommon and rare.
So what's the card from the Harry Potter, like the School of Magic one or whatever, where doesn't it do something similar? One of the lessons does something like this, like it makes a 4/4 or 3/3.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah,
and that's got exhibition.
Yeah, and that's 7 colourless.
That's 7 colours, but it's a hell of a lot more rate than this.
Okay, sure.
And also,
it's
it's it's like 2/1, 4/4, 3/3, and something else, but.
And it's also lesson as well.
Also, the thing was you could get that for free.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you didn't put that one in your deck. That one's sitting in your sideboard.
Yeah.
That's a rob effect. That one.
Yeah.
I can't get that one from my sideboard.
Yeah, exactly. Alrighty, God, just the flavour is so good. Alright, we got Tantris, Cutting Edge Mentor. It's 2 red white for a legendary creature, human warrior. It's a 3/3. It's got first strike. Whenever Tantris becomes equipped, create a token that is a copy of the artifact that is equipping Tantris.
Whoa.
Attach that copy to another target creature you control. Whenever an artifact is unequipped from Tantris, exile all token copies of the artifact that has been unequipped from Tantris. Alright, so you play Tantris for 4. It's a 3/3 with first strike, which is, again, already pretty good. I know that 4 is maybe a bit too much for that alone, but the rest of this makes this obviously a lot better if you've got especially good equipment to go with it. I'm trying to think of, did you play much equipment?
I didn't, no, I didn't. And interestingly, this is one of the cards that was going around really late, like deep, like 9th or 10th pick from memory.
I don't remember seeing it.
Yeah, I remember seeing it.
Oh, it could be because I was just completely.
I remember
colours. I wasn't
wondering if I should draft it, but I wasn't really in the colours anyway. Yeah. That's an interesting one. What do you think, Trent?
Yes, this card's also pretty messed up.
Yeah.
Yep.
It gives you creatures on the house just for. Sorry, it gives you equipment on the house. Like, if there's any reasonable equipment, this thing gets on.
Attached too.
It just attaches it for free. Like, you can't really beat this thing in combat because it's got first strike.
Yes.
If you give something else a significant boost, like it's either really threatening to the life points over 1 or 2 turns, 3 turns, whatever, or it trades with something. And it's like you didn't pay anything outside of equipping the and you lose your creature, but your creature's generally traded up because it's stronger.
Yeah,
right? It's got +2/+2 or whatever the equipment gives you.
And I think that equipment is strong in this set too, because it turns all those 2/2s into bigger creatures. So there's even one that Kyle was playing. It's just I think it's like a 1 mana, and just gives it 1. Yeah,
just
short for 1, cost 1,
exactly.
+1/+1.
Yeah.
And every time we play it, I don't know if you were playing as well, but every time it would get put on the battlefield, it was like, I can't really interact with that creature anymore.
Yeah.
Now imagine it's now a 4/4 and it's got first strike, and there's another one with that on it as well.
Yeah.
It starts getting pretty scary. So, And that's not that much of a cost. All it requires is that, you got this out, and this thing's probably not dying straight away anyway, and then that you play an equipment. Oh, I guess
It is a little bit to the what is it, football injury?
Sports
injury.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a little weak to sports injury.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it not being at the break point of like 3-3, as you've said, could make it a problem. But like again, you got the short swords, like turn 4, play this, make it a 4/4, get that break point, make a short sword, attach something else, get in.
Yeah,
sweet.
And because of the nature of equipment, it could already be out there and have died. Been out there from another creature that had died, and then you play this, and all you got to do is equip it. So
all it takes is one equipment, and this thing is like you don't need 2 equipment for this thing. It's just like I just want 1 equipment.
Yep.
And then you can do some cool stuff where let's say the equipment, because whenever another artifact isn't equipped from Tantris, attach that copy to another target creature. So if that other creature dies, you still have the other equipment. Create a token that is a copy of artifact that is equipped. Attach that copy to another target. So I short sword my thing. I create a copy that is attached to the other creature. Yeah. I attack, you block. That creature's now gone. Now I have another short sword. I attach that short sword to Tantris. Oh, no. I get another short sword. I equip that to another creature. And he's just going, he's getting stronger.
Yeah, right.
And you're just getting free equipment.
Yeah,
so
that point. That's huge.
Very good point.
Yeah, great card. So that's Tristan, and what does it say? It's
red, white man.
So Tristan's vanity card showing his passion for teaching and referencing his love for red and white decks. The man does love.
Never seen his arms so big before.
That much.
Massive shout out to Tristan. You're an awfully funny and awesome dude.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the magenta colour tone.
It's just the red white, right? It's the red white.
Oh,
red
for
hand,
sure.
white
Yeah,
arms.
there you go. All right. Yeah. Oh, nuts. Where are we?
There we are.
There you go. I actually played against this on the weekend. Teller of Tales. It's 5 mana. Simic 3/3. Legendary creature, human bard. When Teller of Tales enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a saga card, reveal it, put it in your hand, and then shuffle. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may return a saga card from your graveyard to your hand. So I think Alex, who I was playing the first round, played this card. He was cycling through his sagas, which weren't really high-powered. So even though he was doing some really cool things, I ended up eventually getting him with one of the massive haste Kruger cards.
Drive by. What's good? I think it's drive by an LG shooting or something.
We'll get to that, but that's an incredible
yeah.
art card as well. Yeah, look, we've definitely seen some sagas in this set. Look, 3/3 for 5, but you are probably almost always, if you built your deck right, going to get a saga card and put it in your hand. That seems pretty strong to me already. Second ability, as I've kind of copped it on the weekend, just repeated sagas going from your graveyard to your hand. I touched on that card before where you were the swimming race. There's other payoffs to that card that are probably even better. I really rate this card.
Yeah, there's a lot of sagas, and a lot of them they cover the full kind of spectrum of the mana curve as well. So there's a lot of ways you could do this. It's just so dependent on how good your sagas are, though, right? Like if you're getting suboptimal sagas with this, a 5-drop 2-color 3/3 seems real bad to me, and it's just so dependent on what the saga is that you're going to go get and how many you've got. You've got to have that critical mass to where the saga's just not just sitting in your hand already. Doesn't seem strong to me, but I haven't played against it. Sometimes it can be. Trent's about to say it's the best card in the set.
No, it's not the best card. I don't know what the sagas are, right?
Yeah.
But this card seems absurd. Like this card seems really, really good to me.
Yeah, tutors are always going to be
tutor for my best saga. If you've got a good saga, it's great. Even if you don't, like your opponent still needs to kill this thing. Like you actually need to kill this thing, otherwise the sagas will take over. If it's a slow format. Like turn 5, play this, tutor up my thing. or you know, maybe there's sagas that start on turn 2. It's like turn 2,
There are,
play
yeah.
that,
There are
play
things,
this. You know, turn 6 or whatever, or turn 5, play that. Get the other saga. Turn 6, play like another. And it's just like you're gonna get drowned in these like
exactly.
small values that they just add up over time. So it doesn't necessarily, unless it's like obviously these sagas aren't doing anything. Like you know, gain 2 life, scry 1. You know, like those really small things.
Yeah.
But if you had forgot like the swimming race.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
And then you
yeah,
recur the
exactly.
swimming race.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like that
That's
will
insane.
that's pretty good.
Now,
you know that's pretty good.
Yeah.
This looks to me like Tatty over Benthic Druid.
Yep.
Which was like 3 green blue, landfall, draw a card, gain life.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now that card might be better than this. I don't think so because the tutor effect on this is kind of like insane.
Yep.
But that card that was the best uncommon
Yeah.
Dominaria.
Yes.
It wasn't relatively close. I can imagine this being like somewhat similar as long as you've said, you've got a threshold, you've got some like 2, 3 sagas or a way to get them in the bin.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think there are several common sagas as well. So
Oh, that's cool.
There's no shortage of sagas.
There's never been a common saga in traditional Magic. They're all uncommon.
I've got a feeling there's at least. I thought the Hood one was.
Oh no,
common,
that's
but
a
maybe
lie.
it's
No,
uncommon.
I am incorrect. Sorry, there
I think there's at least one. I think, and possibly more. But yeah, there's no shortage of sagas generally.
Yeah,
so-
there's a lot of sagas. And Mike loves sagas. Sagas.
Yeah,
I
sagas-
love
sagas-
Everyone
sagas
loves
fantastic.
sagas.
Yeah,
it's
great,
such a good card.
No, there are common ones. I'm
Okay,
mistaken.
yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, yeah. So,
and,
again,
flavour, according to Swanee, is Hoodie loves to
Spinny
spin
yarn.
yarn, so he gets the Sagas Matters card. And I do, if anyone's been in the faction chat, it's just basically me going off in tangents, talking about stories from 15 years ago, or just making fairly boring stories sound a lot more interesting than they were.
Hoodie just pumped himself up.
Yeah.
what I'd like to try in this set, which is what, I mean, I did play Sultai in the draft that I did, and I think Sultai is where it's at if you're playing with your graveyard, because you get these Simic cards like this one, you get the one like Hoodie Predicts Snow that are kind of doing these reanimatory, so they work well with your top end, but when you're playing black as well, it opens you up with some good removal and direct reanimation from your bin. So I think Sultai is where you actually, when Shane and I were first going through black and blue, it was like, we're kind of picturing a mono black reanimator or a blue mill deck or something, but I think where you want to be is like a Sultai just a graveyard deck, because there's blue cards that I had blue cards that would bring a saga back or bring us instant or sorcery back. There's the black cards that interact directly, and then there's all these Simic cards like this that are able to tutor and do interesting things with the top end of your deck that you may not be able to naturally cast. So yeah, I think that's super exciting to try that.
Quick errata with Tantris. Because a creature dies, the artifact that you've created will get unequipped, so it actually won't be there. It'll get exiled. So that actually won't work.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just thinking about it again. I'm like, hang on, that doesn't actually work the way that I said it does.
Yep. Makes sense.
Young Metamancer. There's 3 black-red for a legendary creature, Human Chef, 4/3. Whenever Young Metamancer enters the battlefield, create a food token. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact, if you control at least 5 mountains, Young Metamancer deals 3 damage to any target. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot. Is it 5 mountains?
5 mountains.
5 mountains
to do 3 damage.
is just not gonna happen.
Yeah, so not only 5 mountains, but then also the sacking of artifacts. You're not going to have, unless there's something I'm missing, there's just not an easy way to be like, there's no treasure, for example. You're not just like getting 3 here, getting 2 there.
5 mountains in a limited game, you have to be playing mostly mono red, 12, 12-5, 11-6, that kind of split. To actually have that at a time where it's going to be relevant, and even then it's pretty tough.
You
I
can't even have the 5 mountains by the time, if you're casting this on 5, you can't even, because one needed to
unless there's a ton of there's a mono red deck that is mono treasures, make treasures to play the Metamancer. Then this card's sweet, because it then is my whole deck is mountains. I create treasures to play the Metamancer, which gives me a food token, and then everything you do after that is
yeah, exactly.
But
I may be wrong. There may be treasure. I don't remember seeing.
That's the only case.
Yeah.
Unless there's a flask of elsewhere or whatever that turns all your lands into a specific type, like Prismatic Omen, similar to Dryad of Elysian Grove that turns everything into a mountain, so you can get Valakut kill people.
Yes.
There's a small case that you could do that with some other, but that's a lot of shit.
Exactly
And
right.
Yeah, to be playing 5 mana, 2 colour, 4/3.
I must admit, when I first read this card, I was like, "Holy crap!" And then I reread it and saw the 5 mountains bit. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
5 mountains is too
I
much.
mean,
no way.
I will say this: if you can somehow do it, being able to do 3 damage to any target will win you the game.
Oh
if
yeah,
you're somehow
you're dead.
responding-
Yeah, you get this shit online. It's not
It's
gonna.
over.
It's
Yeah.
over. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's I don't think people understand the actual math behind putting 5
exactly.
like 5 of the same lands
Yeah.
into play, even on turn 5 in a limited deck.
Yeah. I don't
That's
think-
not meant to work out that way.
Yeah, I don't think any game that I played was even. I mean, I was 3 colour, of course, but nothing was even close to getting 5 of any one land for sure.
Well, this card was in the draft and it went around and I saw it second last, so I think people kind of clued on the table.
Yeah, it's just not. It's too much.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I kind of like the fact that it's too much though, because you could imagine that this is whenever you sacrifice something, if you control 3 mountains.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're cooking.
Yeah.
Now we're absolutely cooking because that's a lot different.
Because when you eat a food, you're sacking it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if you've already got the food and then you play this on 5 and you're just immediately able to start.
Yeah, or
eating
just sack a
food,
treasure. Sack a treasure. Shoot your Gibbo for 3.
And there's clue tokens as well.
Yeah,
So
anything.
there's definitely clue and there's food, but I don't think there is a single card that makes treasure in the set, unless I'm mistaken.
I think there's one card that I played that you got 1 treasure.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, or maybe then. Yeah.
But I think it was only 1 card. I think it might have even been the Hood's Saga. I'm not sure where the 3rd ability might have given you a treasure and +2/+1/+1 counters. Either. Never mind. I mean, you're asking for a lot to even get to that.
Yeah,
stage.
it's too steep.
Yeah.
Too steep. I think it's deliberately too steep though.
Yeah,
I actually like
Yeah.
the fact that it's too steep because it's asking you to do something really heavy,
Yep.
but for an insane payoff.
Or even 4 mountains would be.
4 mountains
You start
is
to
still
really.
4
consider
mountains
it,
is tough.
Yeah.
4 mountains is tough.
But like the jump to 5 is just.
Oh, yeah,
is
you're
incredible.
out.
So
If treasure was a thing, though, that bottom part is actually really,
Yeah.
really powerful.
Yeah,
If
what I
treasure-
touched on at the
if
start.
this is a
Yeah.
casual commander game and you just got treasure because you played. Oh, I guess it's not casual.
Yeah, play my dog side, make a bunch. Yeah.
And then you're able to play this and you got your 5 now. That's a really just being able to blow up anything and machine gun stuff for 3 is crazy.
Yeah, really like the curation on this. I feel like Mike was sitting there like a DJ with this one and just turning the knobs to try and figure out what the sweet spot is.
Exactly.
And yeah, with some cards like this, I like going over rather than under. Because if this is under,
then you can.
what's the point?
Yeah, exactly.
What's the point of putting it in the set?
Also,
I don't know if Hoody's going to like this flavour though so much because it's got Matt Younger's vanity card. His barbecue skills are unparalleled.
They are unparalleled. Have you ever eaten at one of Matt Young's?
No,
Oh my god! Look, I've been to a lot of American barbecue places in Melbourne, and I think perhaps his American barbecue is the best I've tasted.
Really?
That is
What's his thing?
well, he has a lot of smokers in his backyard and lots of things. So he does briskets, he does ribs.
Yeah, what's
does
his actual
sausage.
store then?
No,
Or his...
he actually works something unrelated to food.
Oh,
That's his hobby.
Oh, okay, sure.
If you visit him in his house.
Yeah,
Right.
a lot of the faction boys have tried it, and it is incredible. You just ask
Ooh.
Swanee knows.
Yeah, we should,
I remember
we
it.
should put a budget aside for the champs.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
offered many times.
Yeah, we should put a budget aside
yeah,
for it.
Definitely. Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, I remember at God, where were we? Diamond Creek. Shane's like, yeah, I hit the barbecue. And it carried like a full on, some real good stuff.
Yeah,
I was
that was
like,
nice.
wow, it's
Yeah.
not just like snags on the barbie.
Yeah.
Real good.
Can I ask one more
course.
question? Again, coming in as a total non-idea. Is each legendary, let's say Hoodie. Is Hoodie... No, I don't think it is. Cause I think because you've got a Hoodie that's green blue.
Yep, the Teller of Tales.
Yeah, are you predominantly green blue?
He's got to be, right? Because Hoodie predicts snow is green blue. Young Teller of Tales is
Well,
green
there
blue.
was a
standstill
white blue.
card,
There was a
though.
white blue one.
Yeah, which was a
Okay.
standstill. That
So
was
is
my
everybody
favourite
in
card.
a specific wedge?
I don't know what the breakdown of how many people.
Because I'm seeing Gib, which I'm presuming that's Gibbo.
Yeah.
And he's Teamer, and his last one was Green Red.
Gib is it's soon to be Kyle though. What do you know?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
like
is it
Kyle.
Gib?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah,
Kyle.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
sorry, I
yes.
thought that was Gibbo.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
it's
some
just
identity.
Yeah,
There are. I think I'd be interested to see if you.
because Swanee had 2 blue-red cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As well.
If you did in a spreadsheet appearances by person, I feel like Hoody's got to be like double any other person, right?
I think
there
the
are so many cards if you want it.
The only other person that's up there, I think, in my numbers is maybe Shane.
But we haven't seen a single Shane card this whole.
No,
We've
yeah,
seen like 4 or 5 or 3. Feels like cards that have got you on them.
yeah.
So
I'm not going to complain about that.
Yeah.
I'm that vain.
You deserve it, mate. Yeah,
The
so
most selfless, selfish person you've
That's
ever met.
right.
I mean, there's obviously ones, you know, with Chow's vanity cards, like
Yeah, he's
it's
like,
never
what,
going to be
baby?
anything else. I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone so deep on this as to like record decks you've played at GPs and be like, Hoodie has played at the last 6 GPs. He's played a Simic deck and this deck and that. And so I'll make a Simic card for him and all on.
I was wondering because even my vanity card, which was blue-white, it's a really little known fact unless you're one of the really old school players, is that for the first like 10 years of my career, I just played blue-white. But no one really knows in the faction because, you know, we're 30 years into Magic the Gathering, so I thought maybe he's getting that deep, but no.
Different time as well.
Like you two play blue-white control mirror.
I wouldn't want to do that now.
My arm washed, so it's fine.
Okay, got it. Whose one is this? Is this?
It's Carl.
No,
it's
but
me.
yeah.
That's Gib, son of Kaylee? Son of Kaylee. Let's go with it. One green and then blue-red hybrid. Legendary creature, human shaman. It's a 1/1. Exalted, tap for Teamer, green, blue, or red, or tap Gib, son of Kaylee, deals 1 damage to any target.
So I'm just going to say that's a sick card because that second ability there is going to get used all the time. A lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's great. This card's fantastic.
Yeah, that's really flexible.
Knock against it immediately is that it's a 1/1.
Itself,
and we've pointed out that there's a lot of 1/1 hate.
Yep.
So
this is the 1/1 hate, but it is a 1/1.
Yes.
Which is kind of funny.
Yeah. Prodigal Sorcerer, Noble Hierarch, Intima,
Yes.
or Tima, whatever that one was called, Mystic, Rattleclaw Mystic for 3, with Exalted. Yeah, what a great card.
Yeah, Exalted again just gives you that one up
beautiful.
advantage. Turns your 3/3s into 4/4s, or turns a 3/3 into a 4/4, or whatever else.
I think this card's just super solid. Prodigal Sorcerer is bloody good by itself. Like I've touched on how much I appreciate tapping for mana.
Yep.
And again, we've gone over how slow the format is. So
Yep. And this is another. I mean, again, it's a rare, so it's probably never going to happen. But it is another way to get a hell of a lot closer to casting something like Faction Champ. Just because it gives you that, that one color, whatever you're missing.
And that's amazing flavor. I mean, read it out.
Sorry, hold on. So this is Kyle's vanity card. This one was originally banned to reference his Highlander deck choices. Also I believe he played Ban at Pro Tour as well.
Okay.
But it got changed to Teamer. I guess Fury is a great card. Still kept a reference to his nickname as the Prodigy with the Prodigal Sorcerer ability.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's just layers on layers.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's I actually played with Kyle at the Team Highlander.
You did?
Of course,
Yeah, and he's still got it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's still got it.
Yeah, of course he does.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
I sat next to him and we barely spoke a word. Like he never asked me for advice. Fair enough, he shouldn't because I don't know what the fuck's going on. But
every time I turn to Nate, I'm like, Nate, what's that? I don't know.
But still great. Like he came lost in the finals to Juzza, like literally probably the best player on this side of the fucking world. In the finals. Kid's still insane. Don't overthink this, boys. If there's a wash card for this guy, we need to arrive. No way this guy's washed.
He's in the history books forever as the last Australian GP winner.
Correct.
Yeah. So I mean that probably won't ever change, unfortunately.
Would like to point out he did make the finals of the first Faction set draft. Unfortunately, he lost to a better player.
Ah.
Is that so? Yeah. maybe not so.
You top eight on Saturday, right?
Something
Yeah,
on
big
in
wheels.
The zone, in the zone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
someone there.
You got pretty lucky in the second round.
You're like, where's my 8/6 trampling? All right, we've got grapple. It's 1 and a hybrid red-green.
Amazing.
For an instant. Yeah, I know. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control if it's legendary. Then it fights target creature an opponent controls. You're playing this in your deck.
I was, which much to the laughter, I'm sure, of a few of the faction boys that know my love of these fight cards. Yeah.
I mean, when they work. You killed my good creature.
Yeah.
And it was real bad for me. That was in game 1, I think. So.
Well, that's Leo. I thought it was Shane. Okay.
Yeah, Leo Dogan. So that's an uncommon as well. Yeah, I mean
That's common. That's common.
Yeah.
Sorry, common. That's like a fine effect, isn't it, for 2 mana?
Yeah.
Especially.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. Big fighter's fine.
Yep. It's in the right colours for the kind of deck that wants to be doing something like that. The fact that the counter sticks around as well.
Traditionally, the fight spells have always waxed and waned with the set again.
Yes.
Like in I believe in BFZ, the unnatural aggression, which was the fight spell, was green was underhandedly the worst card in the set, the worst card in the set, but that card sucked. Prey Upon in Innistrad wasn't that good.
Okay.
Pit Fight in Ravnica, really good.
Yeah,
so
it
waxes and wanes depending on what's going on. I think the +1/+1 does a lot. Like in core sets, Hunt the Week, which is like one of the original printings of fight spells, is 4 mana sorcery, put a 1/1, then it fights.
Yes.
Always pretty good.
Yeah.
But because that 1/1 really pushes it. So I think if you lean
such
into
potential for blowout, right? Someone double blocks you and then you pump your creature and fight one of the creatures. It's just like
it's also heavily dependent on if it's a sorcery or instant.
Yeah, instants obviously just like you leagues above. You get a whole 2 pay grades because of that.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I'd just like to say that this 100% is how a multicolour card should look.
I agree.
With the colours,
I agree.
it's just so clear and easy to see what that is.
Yeah.
Really adds to the flavour.
I guess the flavour for that would be to do with both Dogan and Leo doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Of course,
Well, one of them doing it.
One's participating.
Leo's been trying. Man, I saw Leo the other day. The thing is looking good.
Yeah, he is looking good.
Yeah.
But Dogan, I think, winning actual medals for his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, it goes insane.
Yeah.
Dogan famously said, well, not famous, but to me, it was chilling. He said to me at Trent's, it's back when we were talking about Jiu-Jitsu. I said, what's it like? What about you look around this room? What do you see? Who's the threat around this room? He goes, no one.
Yeah.
No one's the phone.
So sick.
Any motherfucker in this room, I'll put on their ass.
So sick.
I was like, ooh.
Yeah, insane.
He doesn't even have to look, and he's saying that.
Yeah,
I was like,
so sick.
I don't want to.
Shout out to Dom out there. How you going, mate?
Fuck
Yeah,
It's
dog.
part of the language.
He's like, you needed his footy with a
No,
marshmallow.
he's too busy like berating me for losing a Sahara and piece of garbage or whatever.
You really need to see the Pestosaurus card. I'll
Yeah,
show you later.
yes, please do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. I think it's my turn. We've got Pleasure and Pain.
These cards are awful.
Love the art. This art's actually one photo originally. We've got Pleasure, which is Rob there. Creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn, which is an instant. And then you got old Ian over there in the Pain section. 2 colours and 1 red. Pain deals 3 damage to any target. Look, I'm gonna, at the very least, I'm gonna draft Pain most days of the week. For 3 mana for 3. I'm fairly happy with that already. Split cards, you always would. Having 2 options, I think generally makes the card, or does make a card a lot better in terms of just having that versatility, especially, obviously, if you're playing both colours. I'd be pretty happy to draft that. I don't know about you boys.
I think the Pain side, again, I mean, the Pleasure side is you'll get less, used less often, but when it's good, it's just wins you the game. The Pleasure side, of course. But that Pain, that's real good because that kills most things. And the fact that it can go upstairs to finish off a game is huge for red cards. It is such a
It's a little bit of reach.
yeah, that's right. Like it's just such a welcome bit of flexibility to be able to go up to the dome when you need to finish off a game or just get something done.
And there's definitely an archetype that we haven't explored, at least on the draft on Saturday, with the go wide. I think it's a washed creatures deck with the white and green. I don't think anyone drafted it, but it is there to be drafted. I'm pretty sure.
Crazy.
When you look at the cards, and Pleasure's the kind of card that would be handy to have in that deck. Not necessarily by itself, but the fact that it's got pain associated with it means that you're not really sacrificing the power level of your deck to play that kind of effect.
Yeah, and it's quintessentially Boros, this card. You think of this with the Tristan card, with the equipment, something like this, like that equipment deck. You want to be going wide because you want those ones for your equipment as well. Down pain to turn a bad block good or a bad attack into a blowout for them by painting their creature after they've taken the blocking damage or whatever is super versatile. So what do you think, TC? Like that?
Yeah, it's fine. I think you touched all the correct spots on it.
Both being instants, just
I think my favourite part of it is that like Rob's kind of flexing with the cards in his hand, and little to like Ian's like, oh my god, he's still got 2 bombs, and actually, it's the worst card in Rob's deck.
Yeah,
and another land that he doesn't need. It's just complete nonsense.
Yeah, but I mean,
and Ian's just like, far out. How can I beat this? He's still got bullets.
2 more.
Rob's like, I got 2/7.
Yeah, exactly.
I got nothing.
But Ian, you can see in his face, he knows that none of that matters.
Yeah,
I think we need to briefly touch upon the photography again. Like these aren't staged photos. Like this kind of photo, if we staged, it would be hilarious. This is real time. You've shot at this particular moment. It's just brilliant.
It was so much fun just sitting there on the side of this table with the camera. I love it. All right, well, so that's everything we've got actually for us. We'll just scooch up here so we don't go down into our artifact cards just yet. That's everything we've got for multicolored. Hope you enjoyed the video. It's a bit of a long one, I think. How long have we got here? I don't know. We'll see when we go to upload it.
1 hour 45.
Woo! Good times.
It's been absolutely
you got through that one.
Oh, it's flown by.
There'll be a quiz at the end. So.
I don't know if you've done it. What's your favourite card from all this?
From all of these ones here? Oh, man. Off the top of my head, I just want to say Faction Champ just because I love a 5-colour just
big
deal with it kind of card.
Yeah.
Love that. Let's have a quick squiz over them all. Flavour-wise, it's just the Chow. The one.
The Chow's
Yeah. Lingering Soul.
Yeah,
That's so good flavour-wise that I don't think I can ever have that.
That's a tough one to beat.
Chow, if you're watching, you're welcome.
Yeah, brother. Yeah,
Chow down.
You have got to. Can you come and please draft this set with us?
Oh, the Chow
and
then he's going to go turn 1 planes, turn 2 swab, and then,
which thing I was going to do.
Yeah.
Favourite of all of these? Just having a look. Do you guys have one to mind?
I don't even remember half the abilities of the cards. I'm just thinking the flavour. It's hard to go past Sausage Connoisseur.
Yeah, that's let's leave it at that. Let's just.
I'm gonna go with the Gibbo Simian Spirit Guide.
Nice.
I think that is fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Love it. Alrighty, we'll see you all in the next one. Thank you very much.